Okay.
All right, ladies and gents, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose qualifiers as we now have our round of 32 match on the way. It's going to be Drunkenboi, who I've heard lots about in terms of the American scene, actually rose to prominence pretty drastically throughout the last year or two, against a guy who I don't know that much about at all. It's Akroz, who is another Brazilian representative.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game, actually. Akroz was able to beat Rathead in the previous, did get a straight buy-through in that first round into the round of 32. So this is his first series of the night. It's best of 3, as everything is this evening. And, of course, the top 4 tonight qualify for Stage 2, along with the people from the next 3 qualifiers who will go up against the 8 invited players for 3 spots.
And the 8 invited players are pretty good, to say the least.
They are. I did have them up somewhere. Let me take a quick look. It's Huck, Park, Major, QXE, Hendrix, Violet, Scarlet, and Suppy.
One of which was a very sleepy guy, and US qualifiers, Mr. Violet, who I had to beat down and disqualify. Not quite disqualify, but give a free win to Puckover because, unfortunately, Violet was asleep. So anyway, without further ado, guys, we can actually get into game number 1 in this round of 32 series, as we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, it is our teal Zerg. It is Akroz. And very, very enthusiastic. Jeez, it's late at night. Oh, wait, it's not late at night over there. Never mind. It's our blue Terran representing complexity. It is Drunkenboi. Drunkenboi.
Maybe that's why he's so excited. Maybe he is a drunken boy at the moment.
Maybe.
That's why all the exclamation marks are there.
I'm a sleepy boy at the moment, man.
You're a sleepy boy. Don't fall asleep on me. I will beat you because you're right next to me.
I've had an interesting day, and it's been stressful, but I'm here. I decided to wake up at 8 a.m. in the morning for a midnight cast, and I'm like, I can't get back to sleep. Oh, so yeah, I was drinking Red Bull on the way here. I'm drinking Red Bull now. Red Bull all day, every day. There you go. There's your endorsement.
It's the solution to all your problems, Red Bull.
Right now it is.
Right now it is. Maybe not in life in general.
No,
I mean, don't sacrifice sleep entirely for Red Bull.
Oh, true.
That probably wouldn't be good for you. Drink in moderation, people. Anyway, in terms of our openings in this game, we have got a gas first coming down from Akroz. This is not an extractor trick. This is genuinely a gas first. So we should be seeing a very, very, very early Zergling speed. Yeah,
kind of cool. Kind of cool. Depends how he's really going to use it, though, all in all. I mean, technically, he could be, like, really, really paranoid.
Yep.
And that could be one answer, but the more likely reason is to actually just get a few Zerglings over there. And also, I mean, it does keep you pretty well defended anyway. So, but Drunkenboi's really good when it comes to the American scene. Like, really, really good. I'm pretty sure we've seen him in WCS Premier over there. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't take my word for it. But because my expertise obviously is on WCS Europe and what goes on there. But Drunkenboi's, he's been up there. He's been in the upper echelons of the scene over there. For now, though, this wall-off is completed here by Mr. Drunkenboi. And Akroz, with his Zerglian speed, already coming down. The thing is that if the Reaper gets over there and has a look around, it's going to see the extent of how much has been mined and see that the drones haven't been on there for a long time and know that Zerglian speed's on the way. Maybe a little bit earlier than he anticipated.
I don't think you're ever going to anticipate Zergling speed coming down this early because in ZvT, 99 games out of 100, you're going to be seeing a 15 hatch coming down. It's just what is done. There's actually quite a big commitment to Zerglings here. Oh, wow, okay, going up to 10 lings with this speed. This natural base for Drunkenboi is potentially going to be in a little bit of problems. The Reaper going to see these Zerglings coming on over, so it does give a bit of an alert, but even with the 2 Reapers out, speed is going to be done nice and early.
Even with the Lings being out there that far, without seeing the natural, Drunkenboi must be a little bit, well, now he saw 8 Lings, he must be like, what is going on here? So, yes, he hasn't seen the natural just yet, but he has to be a little bit wary.
Pulling back now with these Lings. Doesn't want any of them dying. That's the important thing. The Reaper didn't get in the main base either, so doesn't know if there's going to be Zergling speed coming down, although you can guess it at this point, just because there are so many Lings here. Yeah. Speed is about to kick in. Note a couple of them have just gone off to distract this Reaper while a good few head on. Speed now seen. I don't think this natural is going to be delayed there's nothing really that can be done about it. There's nothing here.
Yeah, definitely. If he forces a cancellation on this command center, then more power to him. But more Lings are on the way, actually. He did sneak in a few drones in between all of this, but there's the kill of the SCV.
He should be able to force a cancel there.
Now, is this worth it? That's all. Like, that's a lot of Lings that he made. 20 Lings that will get the cancel.
22 Lings, 2 died.
Okay, will they get anything else, though, is the big question.
They should get the... Okay, the command center is definitely cancelled.
Jeez.
Maybe able to grab a couple of SCVs actually here. That the Hellion being a little bit brave. The Reaper's going to in there. But this is actually 8 worker kills now. So, yes, that does make it worth.
Okay, with those SCVs dying, I don't think the SCVs ever needed to die there.
No.
Because he was always going to get the cancellation, right? Yeah. And then he could have just sat behind his wall with Hellions and been okay for a while and started the command center in his main base. So I think that was a little bit of a misplay.
Yeah, I don't see why you'd ever take the SCVs outside of that wall. Admittedly, didn't see the extra Lings coming over, but even without those, I believe there was enough to be able to stop that. But yep, with the SCV kills, that was, what, 22 Lings for 8 SCVs and a cancel on the natural command center. That should work out in terms of, well, in cost effectiveness, it definitely works out in what's lost. And of course, the Lings are still there. They're not going to be able to achieve much more, though, with the Hellions.
Well, the Roach
Well, actually, they can if they get into an interesting position.
Yeah, it really depends on how they loop around in the end. So Spancroller already on the way for Akroz. He did end on the Roach Warren as well, and for now, it just looks like it's kind of the accommodation for the Hellions that are on the way, because he's not pumping out a ton of Overlords. But if he does start making more than 1 Overlord or 2, then he could happily get even more aggressive.
I'd be quite interested to see whether we got a Baneling nest down, because obviously you've got those Lings there. If you grab the Baneling nest, you've got the Roach one, you could go for some Roach Bane pressure quite easily. Obviously only the 1 gas though, which wasn't mining for quite a long time, but still the 2 Roaches coming on out for the moment. Lots of drones behind this, so Akroz, yeah, those Lings are just to force the cancel the natural, and they certainly succeeded there. In terms of following this up, a 3rd hatch should be coming down relatively soon for Akroz.
Yeah, I'm still really surprised that Drunkenboi took all those SCVs down there to basically get slaughtered.
It definitely wouldn't be worth. The only thing I'm thinking is because he never got into the main base, if he suspected there was a Baneling follow-up.
Maybe something. I mean, overall, though, actually the Reaper was in there having a little fun ride with these Marines as well, as the Hellions have tried to dart on past. So the Roaches were, well, at the front, kind of useful for a bit, but that's a lot of Hellions.
Yep, so a couple of them going into the natural base as well. This could get quite a few more kills on those drones. Drunkenboi already picked off 11 of them, and more are falling. Only 1 Roach there working away, but 12 worker kills, plus this drop up into the main base, going to be getting some more damage. These 2 Reapers, as you said, getting a little ride there as well, but with the Roaches here, Akroz should be fine in defending this away, but he lost 13 drones.
Yeah, what a scrappy, bizarre game this one's already turned down from the very get-go. Akroz getting the cancellation, getting a few SCVs, and now Drunkenboi even just darting into both bases and being fine. So I think now, you know, with that kind of equalization up, if he gets a cancel on the 3rd base,
he shouldn't be able to.
Oh,
there's too many Lings.
Yeah, way too much. So should be fine for now. It's kind of, I want to say with the layer on the way, and the drop on the low ground, that was a bit sad. It's kind of level pegging, but yeah.
Worker count is 33 to 31, still in Drunkenboi's favor actually. So he's got quite a nice economy despite taking that damage. And of course, now this Banshee coming in, it has Cloak in addition. So yeah, that poor Queen's not going to have fun. More drones are going to get killed. Add in this drop still being active is just incredibly irritating. The Queen taking quite a bit of damage. Now, this is rather a large problem, actually, because suddenly the main base is lacking a lot of additional defense. Another Queen trying to hide away.
Really wants to get at the Queens. Really wants to get at the Queens here. Prioritizing them over drones, which
well,
is
that means
very
that the medevacs can be a lot more effective. You're also preventing any kind of eject, so you have production. But yeah, 2nd Banshee coming on through now. That Spore Crawler is built out. No, Banshee, don't try and juke it out with a Spore.
And the drops still continue on whilst this Banshee up to the top is also still being annoying. And Drunkenboi, off the back of taking quite significant damage early on, is just kind of running away with this now. The damage he's done to the Queens, he's denied production. There's actually no Queens out right now. So any anti-air he would
And there's only 1 in production as well.
Yeah, it's... okay, these Banshees have actually just caused a hell of a headache. And then another one is on the way, a 3rd Banshee. If he just keeps killing Queens, what is he going to do? He have to sneak a Hydralisk dead in somewhere, which, if he found it, he could start working on that too.
Yep, already that one queen that's out on the field is taking so much damage. It is just the one queen as well. There aren't more in production. Akroz doesn't have the money to produce anymore, really. And so this is kind of the problem. Because Akroz went for those lings early, he had to heavily drone, following on from that to stay in a good economic position, which meant that he was just vulnerable to this kind of relentless attacking. The Roaches getting picked apart, which means the drop play gets stronger and the Hellions get stronger. GG's right there. And what a funky first game.
Yeah, yeah. I think my facial expression says everything when I'm like, wait, what just
like that
happened?
confused look, the slight tilt of the head. He's like, what's happening here?
That was
good.
bizarre.
I liked it. I like bizarre games.
Overall, you know, considering all the damage that was done to Drunkenboi, I just want to actually check. Because I can only imagine that, you know, Drunkenboi's probably played Akroz before.
Yep.
Akroz is Masters and... Oh, well, quite a lot of games played, actually, overall.
Yep.
But anyway, we're going to get into Game 2 in a second here. And again, Drunkenboi just kind of ran away with that. Once all the initial aggression was over, there was very little that he could do with the amount of damage the Banshees did, the drops did, the Hellions getting all those drones at them natural as well.
It was a very interesting situation, but again, if you go for that aggression early on, I don't see that working a second game, to be honest, because let's face it, if you go for that kind of play, for a start, I think Drunkenboi could have handled it better if he just said, okay, natural base, it's yours, I'm going to cancel it, hide behind my wall until I get some Hellions out, and there's nothing more the Lings could do. My only thought process is that maybe Drunkenboi thought there was a Baneling nest coming down behind it because he never got a scout down and thought, okay, I got to take out these Lings as quickly as possible. But again, those are the what-ifs, the maybes. We're going into Overgrowth next. The countdown has just started, so I'll be very interested to see whether we get a very aggressive style out of the Zerg, and also how Drunkenboi decides to respond to that, because his multi-prong harassment in kind of what would still have been the early game if it wasn't for the funky start was insanely effective.
Yeah.
So I think he should just follow suit with that and to see how it works out for him.
Yeah. Akroz, I guess, in the end is kind of accommodating for the idea of the skill gap here and trying to... What on earth have we just loaded into? What the hell is... What is this?
That was an interesting map.
It's like Overgrowth.
Wait, there's stuff what are these little dots everywhere?
Overgrowth PE. Wait, can we come to me a second, Timo?
Let's just look at this. There's lava around.
What is this? It's like the same version of the map, but with just different textures, and there's 4 Marines in the middle for each player, and neutral boxes. All right, we're done. We're done. Okay, we can get out of that.
Okay, that was very strange.
Interesting. Cool. So
learn something new every day.
Apparently there are these versions.
There was a really funny one. I've forgotten which map it was off the top of my head, where there was like really funky things where some mineral patches return like stupid amount of minerals.
Oh, and missile turrets have like 700 range.
Yeah, it was like, it's Acalon, I think it was Acalon Wastes, and if you spelt it wrong when you searched for it, and that was what triggered Blizzard to have like the Blizz logo next to things, because people were accidentally loading into Acalon Waste, spelled just slightly weirdly.
Alicon or something.
Alicon Waste.
It's like, damn it.
I remember when Reddit was having a field day with that. I never got to play on it.
No, nor did I. I just watched it on a cast. I think it was probably on Base Trade, actually. They just, like, all of a sudden, someone made a missile turret.
And it was just, like, hitting overlords on the other side of the map, and everyone was just like, what's going on?
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
All right, so the real Overgrowth this time.
Definitely. Overgrowth LE.
Yeah, not PE.
Yeah.
Avoid PE, apparently, because you get 4 free Marines in there. They could have just... Oh, no, maybe not.
just
throw caution to the wind and just be like, screw it, we'll do it.
We'll do it. We'll see what happens.
All right, game number 2. Let's get into it. Overgrowth is our map, as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner. Currently 1 game down. It is Akroz, representing some team with a little nuclear symbol. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Terran, representing complexity. It is Drunkenboi. Boy. Awesome.
So, by the way, from yesterday, you thought I was crazy. Look, smiley faces.
Where are you looking?
Just like down here. Down here. Down. Rotate. Smiley face.
This is like...
There's like tons of eyes. Okay, they may not be smiley faces, but they are faces. There's all of them. Like, here's another one by the 3rd.
Who has eyes under their mouth? What?
No, that's not under their mouth. That's the mouth. There.
Oh, this is the mouth?
That's the mouth.
It looks like Hannibal Lecter.
I never said they were happy faces. Okay, they're just faces.
You have a weird view on reality, Maddles. I mean,
I see all these happy faces everywhere.
Jeez.
What can I say? I'm positive. Anyway, a drone is coming out very early right now. Going on a little adventure.
I'm okay with this.
Wants to just make sure nothing sneaky is happening.
I'm okay with this. I don't think he's going to do anything super crazy with it, but if he did, I'd still be okay with this. It's fine. He could technically start working on the SCV and force another one off the line. Yeah, he does. He actually shift attacked onto the barracks. If you do shift attack onto the SCV, it will chase it around it. But for now, he's not really going to get much more than a scout of the gas, and no Reapers are going to be on the way, which is probably what was going to happen anyway.
He was just checking as well to make sure, okay, nothing's being proxied or anything like that. I am a game down. I should probably play on the safe side. Drunkenboi, though, yeah, Reapers. Normal opening, everything going good. And Akroz, he's also going for normal stuff this time with a 15 hatch. It'll be interesting to see whether he goes gas pool or just grabs the pool into the gas. Just again decides whether you get slightly earlier speed or slightly better economy with the queen out quicker.
After the shenanigans of game 1, I think that I would love to see Akroz just play out the most standard of standard games possible. That, yeah, maybe he couldn't compete with the skill level of Drunkenboi, or, you know, well, that remains to be seen because we just haven't seen a standard game out of him. But give it a good crack. Why not? If you got kind of manhandled as he did in game number 1, just go for it. Just see how much you can compete here with Drunkenboi in a straight-up macro game. It'd be nice to see.
It was on the floor of the WCS studio, wasn't it, at one point? The cheesiest thing a cheesy player can do is to play a macro game.
Yeah, who said that? Someone said that.
Someone said that. I remember seeing it on the floor of the studio.
Yeah, we've done weird things. It's all Carmack. Just
I like them. I really like them. It added a nice thing. There's a nice new...
Yeah, I guess so. There was random, I think, Tarson faces around at some point as well. And then that StarCraft Legends banner with MVP, MC, Nesty, and Tarson. And I'm like, wait a minute. But, oh well.
Anyway, the Reaper has come in. Didn't quite manage to get a drone kill there. He was so close. And now, of course, Zerglings are chasing after him.
Yeah, he's going to be so far for a long, long time. As those queens are going to pop, and then this Reaper's not going to have too much room at all. So, again, from what I've seen here so far, standard from Akroz. I think what he could do is even if he just went for a standard Roachling Bane all-in off these two base, that'd still be kind of cool. You know, see how much you can really test your opponent's defenses. And by the looks of things from Drunkenboi, he's just opening normal. He's just getting his Hellions. He's going up to the Starport as well, and eventually might put on this pressure.
I reckon going for the Banshees again will be a good move for him because game number 1, they were so effective. And despite it being a bit funky and a weird game overall, if you're getting that much success with the Banshee, why not try it again? Maybe it's something that you can really cause some problems to your opponent with. And even if not, Banshees, if they're controlled well, will be annoying no matter how good of a Zerg you are at defending against them. They will be an irritation. They'll force a response, so you'll never get too far behind by doing it.
Are we going to see a 4th gas being taken here for Akroz for the super fast Spire? Because right now, if he was taking a 4th gas, that's what it would line up to be. But
there we go. 4th gas coming on him.
All right.
Get seen. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Unless it's faked. Unless he cancels it, now the Reapers come in.
The thing is that sometimes the Zerg, what you can do is actually just spread your gases that you're taking over both bases and make it really difficult to spot what you're really doing. But at the same time, if he just dropped a scan in the main base, saw both of these gases in the layer morphing in at this particular time, he'd know exactly what's going on. So
this does quite nicely counter any Banshee play if it were to be coming, but Medevac coming out first, actually. Note Akroz got supply block there as well, and it's actually going to be quite a long one. He didn't have another Overlord in production after losing the scouting one.
And this drop pressure, actually, if he does go straight to the main, I mean, he could just see everything anyway. The Hellions are going to be at the front pressuring. This wall off for now is... I mean, unless he was doing something really weird there. Okay, finally, there is the Spire on the way. It's actually in a really cool place. With that extra creep tumor on the way, but this is still going to be really annoying to hold off because this is a really, really strong push by Drunkenboi.
It is. It's been seen by a Overlord, though, by the Watchtower. The Watchtower being held by the Hellion sees the 2 Overlords in addition. But yeah, there's not really much on the ground to defend this. There's nothing really coming out either. There's literally Queens and Lings. There's 14 lava. They need to be spent in Zerglings to defend this right now.
He's going to take a lot of damage. A lot of damage. The Hellions at the front trying to go past, and they find a small gap, and uh-oh. All right, I think he already lost quite a bit in the main.
Yep, in grand total, he's currently lost 7 drones, which isn't catastrophic yet, but it can quickly get that way. A lot of Zerglings in production, but they're not out on the field at this moment. Marine's going to have to be picked up. That was 1 Marine and 4 Hellions lost for 8 drones.
Not as much damage done as I thought was going to happen overall. But now there's the big question. Why was there a layer there? Why were there all the gases taken over all of these bases, even though without seeing the Spire, and he doesn't know about the lack of a third just yet, but he should do pretty quickly. So I imagine his missile turret timing, his natural missile turret timing, will just get like pushed a little bit forwards here, and he should be okay.
He also picked off one of the gases, which you can never underestimate. On a 2-base muta play, losing one of those gases is pretty huge. Also, this supply block is agonizing.
Yeah, that's really going to cause him quite a few problems. I mean, the mineral to gas ratio right now, whilst having to refresh all of these overlords, is not looking great for him. And these Hellions can just push this away in the main bit, in natural. So, and he sees the lack of third as well. Everything is like an open book here so far.
Oh, no. Note there's not an engineering bay down yet. It's actually an armory coming on through. So missile turrets aren't an option for the moment. There's also a second... Oh, okay, just 1 Banshee in the moment, but still. 8 Mutalisks in production. More damage is going to be done.
Sees a Muta. Now he has to really do something about that in terms of anti-air. I guess he kind of, without too much here, he kind of has to start Thor instantly as soon as the armory finishes up. But it's not an ideal situation, to say the least. Engineering base on the way now. He's like, whoops, maybe I kind of need that.
That Banshee's doing so much. It picks off the Queen and is now definitely going to be able to get the Spore Crawler, which means he can just sit there with Cloak. Oh no, Overseer's coming. Never mind. Never mind, Kalaris.
Oh well. Oh well.
So close, that Banshee.
The idea remains, though, there's going to be another Banshee going into the main. Hellions could technically try and threaten at the front against these Zerglings, and maybe all of this will draw back the Mutalisks again. But even if it didn't, missile turrets are on the way, a Thor's about to finish up, and there's also Widowmines out as well.
All in all, that's a pretty good counter to the Mutalisks. This Banshee just picking away at a couple more drones. In total, 13 workers have been killed. Unfortunately, this missile turret will not finish. But a Thor's about to pop on out. Thor is here.
Ah! Okay.
Run, Mutalisk, don't clump. Fly away.
That's a lot of damage already.
Ouch, that's even more coming through. With the Viking there as well, the missile turrets. Ouch, that's going to be 2 dead Mutalisks.
Yeah, more missile turrets finishing up just in the nick of time at the third base as well.
Oh, another Muta.
Also, this Banshee's still being irritating, and there's Hellions at the front trying to push on in. Don't really get past the spines, but it's just too much damage done. GG. Drunkenboi will take the series 2-0 and advance on to the round of 16.
Very nice work there by Drunkenboi, actually. Just solid play throughout. I like the funky stuff that came through from Akroz, especially in game number 1. But yeah, overall, Drunkenboi just playing absolute solid StarCraft there. And as Clara said, moving on into the round of 16. That means that for the tonight's qualifier, he has to win round of 16, round of 8, and then he's into stage 2.
Needs to win the semi as well. Only 2 people come on from today.
Oh, yeah. It's 3 from... Okay, so he needs to win the semi as well.
All right.
Never mind.
That means we're going to go to a short break. And then when we are back, we're going to have more StarCraft 2 action here from the American region for the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose qualifiers.